So expect that at some point in this show, but we have to start things off how Roots start things off. It's Titan time.
It's Titan time. My new favorite time in general.
Just in general. Like I love being here. I want to stay
here.
here.
It's a good time.
But it's going to end. Like I know it will.
At a certain point, and then we'll have to just like start it over and just talk about Attack on Titan from the jump. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know. 2023, 2022. I don't know.
2023. We don't even gotta wait that long, bro. We ain't gotta wait that long. We starting over as soon as this thing ends. We can rewind and we can restart.
I will watch the series again. Considering how new I am to it, anyways, I can definitely run through this a few more times and it really not bother me.
The best thing is, it's like episodes like this, right? So we have episode 9, which is called Brave Volunteers. It's episodes like this that put a lot of the early seasons into perspective, which makes us being able to talk about it a little bit more comfortably. Absolutely. And with a little bit more knowledge now, especially that we know what we know. But this episode, it comes off the heels first, of last episode, which garnered a lot of hate and a lot of things. Have you heard the song? Fuck Gabby.
Yo, I've heard a few. I've heard there was a guy on TikTok who did a whole diss record as if he was Eren. Did you see that?
I did not see that. Why haven't you sent that?
I'm gonna send it to you. It's really funny. I did hear the diss song. Also, there's some backlash for actually hating Gabby, which is interesting too.
Gabi,
right? But I'm not mad at people on either side. Anime fans are very, very, very once they become attached and they're in, whatever opinion they have, it's ironclad. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way around it. So once you hate somebody or you like somebody, that's kind of it. And there's just no way around it. So I'm all in on the situation. You know my take on it. You already know my take on it.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. She didn't use her brain. She was upset, angry. And we lost somebody good, but that's neither here nor there. She's gone. Sasha's gone.
Absolutely. Even though we saw a lot of her in this episode, which I don't know if it opened up a wound and poured a little bit into it.
I wasn't ready for the tombstone scene. I wasn't ready for that, man.
Oh my god! Just what am I? We can talk about this and just in general because this is one of my favorite scenes of this actual episode. Is that they're at her grave and then her parents show up.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, you knew my daughter, and she was, and the Marleyan cook who was just like, I didn't, I'm just a guy from Marley, I'm just a devil from over the seas.
Yeah.
But your daughter appreciated my cooking so much, and I'll always remember her for that. Yes, please let me cook for you. And what does the dad say?
He's like, Sloan ain't gotta pay, niggas.
Is it free? Is it on the house? And he's like, of course.
Which is like, it was the sweetest that Attack on Titan can get, right? I mean, you don't expect anything more than that. Like, I thought it was perfect, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I thought, this episode showed a lot to me of kind of like, we've seen a lot. The first 3 seasons took place in parody, and we saw a lot there. And the first 8 episodes took place in Marley, and we've seen a lot there and kind of how people are treated. But this episode, I felt like took a lot of the worlds between both and kind of molded them together and kind of maybe put people on an even playing field as like, wow, they're good people just like us, which I think is what they've been trying to establish for quite some time. I mean, you see Eren having that relationship with Falco, and it's like, oh, there are good people on this side too. And you see, but then you see the Marleyans being captured and assimilating into the world and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, these people are all right themselves. Like they cool themselves. What were your big kind of takeaways from this episode?
Wifey's in this episode, man. Yelena. Hey, man.
Ooh.
Yelena is an Amazon, bruh. She's gorgeous, bro. Look, bruh. First of all, let me be clear. This is an anime. I didn't even know it was a woman first time I saw her. That's one.
But now
Okay.
that you know,
Oh man, now that I know, I can say this out loud. You feel me? But no. Honestly, I think it was a brilliant episode of dialogue. I mean, it takes a lot to draw someone in with like, and it's Attack on Titan, so the wordplay. You walk out the room to get a water bottle, you may miss something extremely important. So
yeah,
being able to stay locked in onto this episode and get the dialogue and the jumping back and forth between timelines is brilliant. I really love the conversation when they're basically talking to Yelena and the brother.
mm.
The
we can't pronounce your name.
We can't pronounce your name, but you got a fade, and looks like you're on our team. So
it could be a little bit fade. Like the fade itself, it's
you can tell there's not a lot of brothers cutting, if any.
Easily. I mean, it's
You
more
wanna
like
talk about the line.
I'm not a fan of the line, but I'm just assuming, considering what Yelena's hair looks like, that barbers are just very
exactly. Yelena's sexy to me. She's sexy to me.
You take them as you get them.
I will say this. Look, this is why this show is brilliant. Asking the brother, that's what I'm just gonna call him because I don't know what this nigga, the brother, about his skin color. I wasn't even offended. Like it was like it was asked like out of true curiosity, wasn't it? Like it wasn't like, ew, why are you? It was more just like, hey, by the way, like why do you have dark skin? And he was like, well, honestly. I'm one of a kind, like like.
First of all, he had the hand. It was very Jeff-esque, by the way.
It was.
I just want you to let you know, very hand on the chin and be like with a little eyebrow up. He put a little eyebrow up. I'm watching it now.
If you must know,
God made me this way, and guess what? God made all of you too. And if you want the word of God,
it was a very cool way to dismiss anything evil. He was just like, oh, I'm just like you, man. I just, my skin's a little darker. That's all. And they were like, oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That was so smooth.
Yeah, that was, okay, I'm cool with you. And just like that, there's no racism. Just like that.
And that's how racism was abolished on parody. One step at a time. I mean, racism is still living heavy. But
no, do you think that was interesting? Like that they even put that line in?
I do.
What's the true purpose of them just throwing that one liner out and having them answer it? It's almost like they were trying to let us know, like, hey, we know that we haven't represented people of color on this series, and here's why. And they did it in such like a proper way that I respected it. Like I didn't find it like disrespectful.
I think it's that. I think it's 100% that, and they included in the show, and he had a very, I would say, a semi-prominent role in this episode, but he's important to this show.
Right.
Thus far in this episode. I think it's also to establish, because he definitely says like, yo, I was pretty much made, the man above kind of made me different from everybody else. And I think it was to establish that there are different beliefs beyond the belief that Ymir created the Eldians, and that Eldian, because the Eldians on parody, they don't know squat about squat. Like they attack the ships, they manage to bring in the people. Zeke's people are double agents in the show, which is fine. It's it's whatever they're gonna do. And they learn immediately. Hanji and Levi, they sit down with Yelena and I'm gonna call him O.
Yeah, I don't know. We gotta figure out how to say this man's name by the next episode, though.
Easily, we definitely have to. But they sit down with him and they're like, yo, they're explaining all the weaponry. They was like, yeah, they've advanced weaponry. I mean, we've got planes that will drop bombs on people. And there's like, they have things that are in the air.
Yeah,
and why haven't they killed us
yet? Yeah, why haven't they pulled up on us?
And it was like, because they found out y'all stole the Titans and all the other countries just ran up on us. They're like, yo, they down 2 Titans. We good here. And all they got is the armor Titan, the most bitch ass of all Titans.
Yeah, because Yelena was like, well, I mean, they're at war with a few different nations. It's not just about y'all, like there's a lot of shit going on. And I think that was important for us to find out too, because you want to see this as well, when you watch it as, hey, Paradise versus, Marley, and it's way bigger and deeper than that, and that puts it in perspective. Like, hey, yeah, they could have came over here with planes and did, but there's so many other things going on that it's not just about you guys.
Absolutely. So they learn a lot, I mean, from other cultures. Once they capture all the Marleyan ships and learn kind of a lot from the Marleyan technology, they take in their cooking. You see Sasha grubbing in on lobster. I am
Hey, bro,
personally
I
not
felt
a
her.
lobster person
I
myself.
felt it, bro. The
I
thing
mean,
was, like, she's so greedy. She didn't even dip it in any butter, nothing like that. She just ripped it straight off the, you
she don't
know.
know what butter is.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine Sasha tasting butter. But, like, I love lobster, so I felt her. She had tears coming down her eyes eating that lobster, so I know it was good. It's probably the first time she ever had it.
Hmm.
Oh, clearly. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not a seafood person, but
I feel you.
you
I've
know,
known that for a while.
according to God made us all different in our own special, unique
Yeah,
ways.
young O,
But
Anya Copone,
mm,
Anya Copone.
I would think that's how it's pronounced, but I know I'd
Mm.
be wrong.
Yeah, we know that's not how the Japanese say that. Like,
Yeah, I
ain't no
know I'd be
way.
wrong. I've learned from Pokemon itself that my pronunciation is almost always wrong.
I don't change Pokemon names. If I got it wrong, that's just what his name is from now on. Like, it's too hard to go back.
Oh my god. So another major thing that was established during this episode is Zeke. Zeke and the team. Zeke and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit more of Zeke's plan. And Zeke was, I mean, he's captured. He's captured in a sense. People don't trust him. Levi won't stop looking at him. He's sitting right across from me. It's just like, yo. Even Zeke is like, it's a little awkward in here. Would you mind stop staring? And he's like, what? Excuse me? I stare whoever I
Yeah,
want.
yeah, nigga, you know what the fuck I am, bro. I had
I'm
my
the
sword
king
in your
of
mouth not
parody.
long ago. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
stop playing with me.
I run this. All right. Listen, when I'm over there, you can tell me whatever the hell you want over there. But we learned a lot from Zeke. Essentially, Zeke, the first fleet that went over there, the one where they shot, where Yelena pulled up and pretty much blew this man's head off,
Mm-hmm.
was essentially Zeke's followers. There were Zeke's followers and there were Marleyan people, and essentially Zeke's followers turned on the Marleyan people with their own armed forces, and they were assimilated into parody, and that's kind of how the parody Marleyan kind of, I don't want to say agreement, it's not really a treaty, it's like them being double agents, turning their back and also giving them a whole bunch of knowledge on what's happening. But
Right.
that is purely because that Zeke wants a better world for Eldians, and he wants to use the power of the Founding Titan and someone with royal blood, and to potentially start the rumbling. Are you aware of what the rumbling is?
What is the rumbling?
The rumbling is when they're able to unlock all of those Titans that are in the wall,
Okay,
and
yes.
they will stomp out everyone on the earth. And so essentially there's their way, or at least Eren'S way that he saw, is that we cannot, the only way this ends is if we kill everybody, because people are not going to see us. People see us as Eldians, but they don't really see us as people. They see us as monsters who can transform into Titans.
Right.
He says this during the
That's
show.
it. Yeah.
So they'll never see us truly as people, and they'll never accept us as people, and we'll never be on the same wavelength. So we got to kill them. Because they're going to kill us.
There you go. That's that.
Or they're going to kill us. And you know what? That he's sticking with that plan. He stuck with that plan. The flashback from 3 years ago, he's talking about it. I mean, even in the final episode of season 3, when they're looking out at the ocean, and when he sees that everyone across the ocean, we search for freedom, we feel like we found it, but what we really found is a world full of enemies, staring right back at us. So he's held onto this kind of ideal for a long time, and you can see that it has begun to warp him from a very much so eager, ready to fight, ready to defend his family, and warped him into this very, quite frankly, I've said it last episode, I'm sticking with it, warped him into a psychopath. I mean,
we're just going with that no matter what.
Yes, because look at him. His
Yeah,
eyes.
he's
His
gone.
eyes don't. The zeal that was in his eyes when he was a kid and when he was trying to save people and when he just learned about Titans and was
Right.
kind of trying to save Parody from what he thought was the danger, which was the Titans on the outside, just the outside of the walls, and stuff like that. He learned so much more, and what he has learned from it has warped his entire being so much that he cannot go back to believing that there are good people outside of these walls.
It's just
He
too much
can't.
for him to do so.
He's seen too much. He's seen too much in past. He's seen how his Eldian people were treated. End of season 3, they're kicked off the walls, turned into Titans, and expected to wreak havoc. They were made into Titans. This is another thing I discovered as well. All those Titans that were created were to keep everyone inside of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So they would not start the rumbling and leave the wall.
So crazy, bro.
This episode,
it's so, they give us
ahead.
everything. They give you. I told you, man. Attack on Titan. Obviously, when the action is happening, the visual is stunning. There's bloodshed, a lot of death. You already, destruction. You know how shit go. But when they decide to really turn up and tell the story with words, you're not getting any better moment. I mean, even the clip of Gabi in the prison, still just irritated at Eren is like they're telling just a crazy story. And they're making sure they give you every little bit that you need. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Levi walking, fucking what's his face, Beast Titan, Zeke to the forest. Like, yeah, this is where you're gonna be, staying there
with your Beast Titan ass.
Yeah, bitch ass. Just in case we need to cut you down at any moment.
Yeah. And you know what? We about to send them kids here too. You be able to talk to them. About to send them here too. So now the sort of Eldian government is trying to figure out, like, can we trust Zeke? Because Zeke has a few things he wants established before he really kind of unveils his plan to save all the Eldians, and he's trying to save all of the Eldians. But they're still unsure what to trust. But they do find out that a lot that he's actually said is real, based on Eren'S, declaration during the episode. It was like, yeah, and I did this because I didn't want Historia to be turned into a Titan, etc., etc. Smart plan. Yeah. Kept it from everybody, but smart plan.
I don't even know if he's probably like, oh, I gotta make some shit up. This will work. This will do. I'll just make him think. Historia was for her safety.
Absolutely. But I think the through line for this episode, and we'll wrap this up here and begin to head over to the world of the Neverland, is Armin. From the beginning of this episode, we see that Armin is kind of talking in this weirdly lit room, and he has a seashell in his hand. I think the seashell represents the sea and kind of everything that he wanted to discover, and it represents like his past and what, holding on to the past, even though he knows the future is going to be a rough ride because of what they just did. They just murked everybody, and he's trying to, I think he's telling the story to Annie, who's still, still on chill.
Seeing Annie was nice too. Yeah, I think that was a really, really nice touch.
I agree, and I feel like this entire episode was him telling the story, because he was like, I discovered Eren a while ago, and could this have been something that we had prevented if we just done, instead of showing up and kicking ass, we just talked to these people? Is this something that we could have prevented? Well, at this point, we'll never know, because I mean, we showed up and kicked many an ass.
Exactly, bro.
So we'll never know at this point. So I think this episode was a great reset for the season.
I absolutely agree. It's the perfect way to lean into something, whatever ends up actually happening. I haven't read the manga, but I can tell that they haven't missed once.
No,
they just have not missed. And man, I said some things to Meelz before we actually logged on to do this. that I told him I would not say on air, and I'm not going to. But this is special. Isn't the word, but this is an amazing series. Period. This season is brilliant. Every episode just tells you exactly what you need to see and what you need to hear. I really hope you're locked into Attack on Titan, and if you've never seen this before, like before I saw it, and I just saw naked grown people running around, and you don't know what it is, you're not sure, maybe it turned you off. Trust me, just lock in for the long run because this shit is so perfect.
The final scene of the show is Eren looking into the mirror. 10-pack.
10-pack. Hair up in a bun. Some of it still laid out in the back.
He's wet. He's obviously in jail.
Man, he's like he's coming after Levi, man, for hottest protagonist right now, man.
Apparently, according to a poll on Twitter, Levi was named the hottest member of Attack on Titan.
I would say I would say that's true. I mean,
I
would say he's the hottest one as far as male is concerned. But
I would agree because I think
Eren's coming for it. He's coming for it. No. Yeah. I already know how you feel about it. Eren's lost all. You don't even like him no more, do you? Or when's the last time you did like Eren? Season 1.
Yes.
It's been a while, huh? Yeah. I feel you. He's been off for a while.
He says the only way is to fight, and that is his final words. And that's how we know we're about to get into some next shit. Mm-hmm. So we have that to look forward to, as always. But we also have to Promise Neverland to look forward to. We're having a great discussion with Chibi Thought Sachi. We'll actually have it right up next, so make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yeah.